Hey everybody, this is Perky, and today I would like to talk to you about Nathan Nearest Green. But before I do so, please check out For Us Nation Everything, meaning you can find us on all social media platforms. You can also visit our website, forusnation.com, and you can also check out our podcast, On the Ground Level Podcast, which is available on all streaming platforms. Thanks again for tuning in, and let's talk today about Nathan Nearest Green, who is the true inventor of Jack Daniels. So this is a very courageous and remarkable story for somebody that, was literally being treated like property because he was an enslaved man, but yet helped to build this great company that sadly most people don't know he was the real true genius behind. Little is known about Nathan Nearest Green. It is believed that he was born in Maryland around 1820, but his hometown would be Lynchburg, Tennessee. He is the first known African American master distiller, and he learned while on a farm of a country preacher and distiller in Lincoln County. It is also unknown if he was born into slavery or if he later became a slave. But while he was learning how to become a master distiller, he also incorporated his African culture. So let's explain. He learned how to process and make whiskey in Lincoln County, where it is known as the Lincoln County process when you have the sugar maple type taste to your whiskey. But he also incorporated charcoal filtering through his West African culture and ancestry. So his whiskey had a unique smoothness that was known as the sugar maple charcoal filtering. So a young white boy who lost his mom at 4 months old began looking for things to do with his time. He did not come from privilege, but he was a worker. So just like Nathan, he began working for the preacher on a 338-acre property. He would stay there, smoke, work, and learn from Nathan on how to be a good worker and also a little bit about distilling. But he wasn't gifted at being a whiskey maker like Uncle Nearest. So he, as he got older, became more of the entrepreneur. He started to sell the Tennessee whiskey to soldiers in the Civil War and to people in the towns near Lynchburg. During the Civil War, at the age of 15, he then lost his father and he became an orphan. He would have to fend for himself and figure out how he was going to survive. And this is why he chose the whiskey business. He already had someone with him that knew how to make the whiskey, and he knew how to sell the whiskey. So they basically partnered together with him and the preacher. He would eventually purchase the preacher's share, and then he renamed the distillery after himself, Jack Daniels. Over time, the white chore boy and Nathan Nearest started to grow the business, but Nearest eventually retired, and he did not go to his new distillery that Jack Daniels created, but instead his family, which includes his sons Louis, Eli, and George, they continued the tradition of making the best whiskey in the area. Nearest's grandsons, Charlie and Ott, would also work at the new distillery, and they saw that this young white boy was becoming a brilliant businessman, and he was the one being known as the best whiskey maker in the world. His legal name was actually Jasper Newton, but everybody in Lynchburg knew him as Uncle Jack. And so later on down the line, he became Jack Daniels. But sadly, as the history went on, people slowly forgot Nearest Green because, when you don't name things after yourself, sometimes you are forgotten. And so this man, Jasper Newton, aka Jack Daniel, is sadly the one known for being the iconic whiskey maker. Yet he was really just a good businessman. And for anybody looking to create their own business, this is why it is important to own your intellectual property, to trademark your intellectual property, copyright your intellectual property, whatever you need to do, protect your assets, because history sometimes forgets the real creators. But thankfully, we are learning more and more about Nathan Nearest, and we hope that his family is able to reclaim his iconic recipe that has gone on to make the Newton family millions and millions of dollars. But anyways, happy Black History Month to the Nearest family, and thank you for your contributions to the world. If you like this story, please share. Also, please visit our website at forusnation.com. And if you have any suggestions for stories that you would like to hear about, please share them, because even after Black History Month ends, we will still be celebrating and spreading Black history. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoy it.